Alrighty guys, we have Mr. James' layout diorama that he has built for me. And right now we're going to go put it on the layout and see how it looks and see where I'm going to place it exactly and build some stuff around it. So let's go check it out together, right? So again, thank you Mr. James for building this awesome scene for me. It looks really, really rad and awesome and badass and everything else. I mean, he even had got the tiny details with the little car rack in there. A bunch of little detailed stuff in here which is hard to see. Yeah, so down in here he has built a lot of features, so you can see in there some table of sort. It's an old abandoned mechanic shop. Got an old car left in there and the barrels, the dumpsters and whatnot. I did a video prior to that in this unboxing, but now we finally can see where we're gonna put this thing. So I'm gonna spin this around and face everything towards the track. Give it a view of something like this. Okay, so we're gonna glue all this in and set this in the way we want it. Put the little roof back on. Well, grab it. Something like this. Okay. Actually, it's backwards. It goes like this. Okay, so I see this is lifting, so I'm gonna have to glue this down, so that's okay, that's okay. So we're looking back at it like this, going into the blast furnace. It doesn't look too terrible like this. I have to remember we're gonna have some tracks coming down up in here. Probably up, well actually it's gonna stop over here. So we're good with this in this area. So let me think, we gotta fix the little fence. Yeah. I like it like that because when I'm coming into this area, I can just glance over and see all the features and details. Rather, I won't be spending much time over there all the time. So it makes sense here. We got it. We're going to place it like this. It's a perfect idea to put a rip track down in the back. So it's going to be an old abandoned track. And we need more leeway with the building because we don't have a 50-foot right of way right here. So let's scoot it on in. Give it a 50-foot right away. That's more decent. Okay. Like it like that. Perfect. It's not real, folks. It's just for play. Chill out. But first, what we need to do before we place this rip track is that we need to rip some ties out and paint it. So let's rip some ties out of this thing. Okay, so we got the track cut. So on one side, in between the flex track, I cut the cross supports out of each and every one of them. So it allows this side to move independently of each other, and you can make them crooked if you want, okay? See the difference? Now you can spend some more time, preferably I'm happy with this. I got a bunch of missing ones here, but you can spend more time doing the other side and making them even more look crooked, but I'm happy with this. Focus on the sides, because that's what we're focusing on. Not worried about the top. We gotta clean the top out anyway. Okay, so while we're waiting for our track to dry, I went ahead and wanted to put a feature in here where this green masking tape is at. So we all know the real world is not flat, and this is just a super flat look in front of this little feature, and I want to give it more definition. I'm gonna try to keep this width. It's about 3/4 of an inch all the way through. And I'm gonna put a ditch in it. Now I can carve it, but I necessarily don't wanna make the mess. So I'm gonna try another technique that I used before in the past. This technique works, but you have to ventilate. It can be harmful to your health and lungs if you do not have a face mask and you do not ventilate. So let me get this out the way and I'll show you how I make my ditches. All right, so we have the depth. We have a little bit here. It's starting to want to eat, but right now I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna come back and sand in here when it dries and in here also to give it more of a sloped look. Alrighty folks, I'm gonna end the video with me going ahead and gluing the rip track in, the abandoned track, the screwed up track, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna let this continue to air out, breathe, and I'm gonna come back and probably plaster it. And we're gonna do another episode on getting this seam tied down. So let me go ahead and glue this part in. She's set in stone. You can see how it really crooked if you're looking down the rails. You can see it sways here and there. It's really ugly. Coming above, you can see it. All the ties are crooked. It's not that pretty. All right, so let me put some weight on this thing and call it a day.